Hey guys, I'm the Comics Kid 2099, and I am here to do a graphic novel review, Sea of Red, by a guy you've maybe heard of, Rick Remender. I know Rick Remender from his Uncanny X-Force run, but he's also done quite a bit of other stuff recently. Frankencastle at Marvel Comics and Agent Venom, or I guess just Venom is what it was. And he's done some other stuff. I think Secret Avengers maybe briefly, but mostly I think he's just kind of. I don't want to say he's an overnight success because he's been doing stuff for like 10 years now, but he's just kind of sort of shot up into fame fairly quickly, it seems like. And this is something that I had not actually heard of. I bought this just on a whim. I think I got it online. It was fairly cheap, and it looked interesting, so I bought it, and only later did I find out it was by Rick Remender. And the premise is something I don't want to give too much away because I think it's one of those things, if you know about it going into it, then you might it might not be as enjoyable. Admittedly, I wasn't really paying a lot of attention to the cover. You might probably be able to figure out the premise if you're really looking at the cover and you're kind of paying attention to it. I just kind of picked it up and just started reading it. I wasn't really studying the cover, so if you go back and look at me holding up the book, you might be able to figure out the premise anyway, but I'm not going to tell you the premise in this video. I think if you want to read it, you should go ahead and do that, and then you can kind of experience it for yourself without spoilage. I do want to say this story is it's very mature readers, and it's not got a lot of graphic violence. There is a lot of blood, characters like ripping hearts off and stuff like that, heads flying. So yeah, I guess it is pretty graphic. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. It is graphic, and there's also a lot of graphic language. So if that sort of thing bothers you, either the graphic violence or the graphic language, this book is not going to be for you. This is definitely, if it was a movie, it would be rated R for blood and violence and stuff like that, and the language. But if that doesn't bother you, this story is half a story. I think that's my biggest problem with this book, is that the whole series lasted longer than this volume. This is only 4 issues long, and it lasted at least 3 volumes. I saw 3 volumes on Amazon, and then there's also a complete volume. And this is not really... Sometimes you'll have, like, if a series runs 16 issues, you might have 4-issue little mini arcs, but then the whole thing reads as one bigger story. But if you read the first 4-issue arc, it ends in such a way where you can tell that there's going to be more, but this is still a satisfying unit of story all on its own. This is not that at all. This, it takes its time getting to where it gets. And that's good because I don't want to see a story rush itself, but at the same time, I don't want to see what could be a 3-issue story being stretched out into a 6-issue story. I don't like that either. This is, I think, a happy medium. It's not trying to cram so much stuff into such a little amount of space that it just doesn't work. The story feels forced, but at the same time, it's not decompressing itself in the way of being lazy just so that it can get more issues out and therefore get more money. It's not trying to do that. It takes its time in a good way. And at the same time, I feel like a problem here is that this only collects 4 issues, and at the end of issue 4, it doesn't feel like it should be the end of that book. It feels like it just stops, and I need to know what happens next, and I get that probably they're doing that so that you will go and buy volume 2. But I feel like they could have found a better ending for this. Maybe they could have even collected 5 issues in this volume instead of 4, and then it maybe would have had a better ending. I don't know, but I feel like this should have ended in a way where maybe it gives you kind of the direction that the series will be heading, let you know that there will be more stuff in the rest of the Sea of Red series, but kind of end in a satisfying manner. And I think that's what I'm trying to get at, is that the ending here is just not very satisfying. It just abruptly ends, and we don't know a lot. There's a lot of stuff that we still don't know at the end of this. And that kind of bothered me. Do I recommend this? I would say if you are looking for something that's a little bit outside of the superhero genre, yes. It's still got kind of a fantasy bent to it, so if you like the sort of unrealistic, unreal world stuff in superhero stories, then yeah, go ahead and read this, because it's still got that. But it's also going to be a breath of fresh air if perhaps you are sick and tired of superhero stuff, as sometimes I am. And also, it's pretty fun and enjoyable. There's a little bit of stuff here that's kind of depressing, judging by the subject matter. That should be a given. But it's also a very fun ride, in my opinion. It's able to balance those two very well. So I would say this is probably like a 7.5 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10. I'm not really sure where I fall on it. Really, the ending, or the non-ending as it is, that really took it down for me. If the ending had been a little better, this would have been a near-perfect book for me, and I would have, with no hesitation, gone and gotten Volume 2. As is, I still want to find out what happens next, but the ending just kind of left a sour taste in my mouth. So I'm not sure if I want to go and put more money towards a series that, in my opinion, should have found a better way of getting me to read the rest of the series. So yeah, I would suggest that you read this almost certainly. Of course, if you don't like the graphic violence or language, then don't read it. But that's about all I had to say. This wasn't a very long review because I don't want to spoil it too much, and probably you already kind of know the spoilers. But yeah, the art is good, and I don't want to show you much of the art because it's kind of spoilery. Here's a non-spoilery page. Some good art, I think, by Kieron Dwyer, who I don't think I've seen any of his art elsewhere. Maybe I have and I just don't remember. But like, in fact, I don't know if I showed you guys the right page or not. Like, there it is. Because this is just a blank page of a ship. So it's good art, and I just didn't talk about that a lot because, like, this is one of those books where if I'm trying not to spoil it, there's a lot of spoilers on each page, so I had to be careful which page I wanted to show you. Go ahead and check this out. I think it's going to be worth your time. It's not even a very expensive book. It's less than $9, so for 4 issues, that's not a bad price at all. I would suggest check it out. See what it's like. Maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't. It doesn't hurt to, every once in a while, think outside the box a little, or, as the case may be, try and experiment outside of your comfort zone, if you will. That's all I have to say. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I will be back tomorrow with a topic video. Trying to think. Yeah, I will be back tomorrow with a topic video that I've had in mind for about a week, and I want to go ahead and throw that one out there before I forget it. And then the day after that, I'll be doing a review of an episode of Batman the Animated Series. So I'll be seeing you guys later this week. Hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and I'll catch you later. Have a good one.